The Interior Department has ordered the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine to stop working on a study focused on the health risks of living near mountaintop coal mining sites in central Appalachia. The National Academies made the announcement in a statement, and said it believes this is an important study. The reasoning: the department began reviewing grants and cooperative partnerships that exceeded $100,000 in April. Heather Swift, the press secretary for the Interior, told Axios that the Trump administration is dedicated to responsibly using taxpayer dollars, and that includes the billions of dollars in grants that are doled out every year by the Department of the Interior. The original request for the study came from the state of West Virginia in 2015. This was updated to reflect the press secretary's statement. A Washington Post-ABC News poll found that 9% of Americans believe holding white supremacist and neo-Nazi views is acceptable. A majority of Americans, regardless of party, thinks it's unacceptable to hold such views, 83% overall. The poll was conducted following the violence in Charlottesville, and 56% said they disapproved of President Trump's response, with 28% approving. 42% said Trump has been putting white supremacists on an equal standing with their opponents, while 35% said he has not. Trump's overall approval rating stands at 37%, compared to 36% in July. Why it matters: 9% of America is nearly 30 million people. The poll reported a margin of error of plus or minus 3.5 percentage points. It polled a random national sample of 1,014 adults. The U.S. Embassy in Russia announced Monday it will stop issuing non-immigrant visas to Russians for 8 days from Wednesday. A State Department official told Axios, "We are forced to suspend them as a result of the Russian government-imposed cap on U.S. Embassy staff in Russia." The U.S. State Department said this is not retaliation for that cap, but the app. It is just a reflection of the fact that fewer employees on the ground leads to a reduction in capacity. 250,000 Russian tourists visited the U.S. last year, Russian tourism officials reported. For consulates in St. Petersburg, Yekaterinburg, and Vladivostok, the suspension is in place until further notice, the official said. The backdrop: in July, Vladimir Putin ordered the U.S. to cut its embassy staff by 755 in response to a fresh round of sanctions passed by Congress over Russia's election meddling. President Trump, First Lady Melania Trump, and Baron Trump at the White House, Andrew Harnack, Attorney General Jeff Sessions, and Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross at the White House, Andrew Harnack, Vice President Mike Pence, with students from Cornerstone Schools, Manuel Balchase and Yatter, Ivanka Trump at the White House, Andrew Harnack, Tiffany Trump and her mother, Marla Maples, in D.C., and a bonus: the Bush family in Texas. Google's chief economist says that technology will help people transition into new roles, even as it changes the nature of jobs. Hal Varian noted that technology has made it easier for people to learn crucial job skills while on the job. Drivers, he noted, no longer need to have a perfect grasp of a city's geography. They can learn as they go because technology exists to help with navigation. Online content, such as Khan Academy, can help teach new skills. This cognitive assist is really a big deal because it allows for the kind of on-the-job training you're talking about, he said Monday at the Technology Policy Institute's annual conference. Why it matters: some argue that the tech industry has a responsibility to help workers who are impacted by automation, robotics, and artificial intelligence. Varian told Axios that helping people pick up new skills is also good for business. Here's what else Trump has had to say about sending troops to Afghanistan in the past. Starting as early as 2011, Donald Trump has made it clear that he wants troops to be brought back from Afghanistan, not sent out. However, the Secret Service told Axios in a statement Monday afternoon that although the number of people within the Trump administration that needs protection is unprecedented, 42 under Trump, 18 being family members, compared with just 31 under Obama, the financial issues the agency faces have been going on for years. Our agency experienced a similar situation in calendar year 2016. This issue is not one that can be attributed to the current administration's protection requirements alone, but rather has been an ongoing issue for nearly a decade due to an overall increase in operational tempo. What's next to help ease the situation? Alice has reportedly begun meeting with lawmakers to discuss raising agents' salary and overtime caps from $160,000 per year to $187,000, a proposal he has asked to last through the end of Trump's first term. But even with the added funding, the agency said many employees would never be fully compensated for the overtime they've already logged. White House response: the WH said in a statement that Trump is committed to ensuring the Secret Service and all of those protecting our country have all the resources they need. We are going to continue to work with Congress on this important issue, which requires their actions. Full statement made by U.S. Secret Service Director Randolph Texalis, sent to Axios via email. I am extremely proud of the hard work performed by the men and women of the Secret Service. The devotion to duty is unparalleled in federal law enforcement. The Secret Service has the funding it needs to meet all current mission requirements for the remainder of the fiscal year and compensate employees for overtime within statutory pay caps. The Secret Service estimates that roughly 1,100 employees will work overtime hours in excess of statutory pay caps during calendar year 2017. Our agency experienced a similar situation in calendar year 2016 that resulted in legislation that allowed Secret Service employees to exceed statutory caps on pay. To remedy this ongoing and serious problem, the agency has worked closely with the Department of Homeland Security, the administration, and the Congress over the past several months to find a legislative solution. As we work to ensure that employees are compensated for the hours they work, the Secret Service continues its rigorous hiring of special agents, uniformed division officers, and critical support staff to meet future mission requirements. The law, Title 18 U.S. Code 3056, details protection requirements for the President, Vice President, and their immediate family members. This issue is not one that can be attributed to the current administration's protection requirements alone, but rather has been an ongoing issue for nearly a decade due to an overall increase in operational tempo. A man in Houston, Texas has been arrested after allegedly trying to plant a bomb near a statue of a Confederate Army officer, the Houston Chronicle reports. The suspect, Andrew Schneck, 25, was arrested Saturday night in Herman Park. He was convicted in 2015 of storing explosives, the Chronicle reports. A park ranger reportedly saw him kneeling in the bushes and holding boxes with wires and duct tape. Federal authorities said Schneck had tubes containing nitroglycerin and HMTD, an explosive compound. The statue, Confederate officer Richard Dowling. It was commissioned in 1905. But the Chronicle, the statue, made of marble, was the first publicly financed monument in Houston, according to the city's website. The cost of lost productivity as American workers turn their attention to the solar eclipse for just 20 minutes Monday afternoon is $700 million, per Reuters. But that's nothing compared to the price companies pay for Cyber Monday, a March Madness. Outplacement firm Challenger, Gray Christmas estimated that 87 million people will be working during the eclipse. They multiplied that figure by the approximate viewing time and the U.S. average wage to generate their cost ballpark. Here are the events that cost companies big money, along with the price tags. March Madness opening week, $615 million per hour spent fixing brackets Monday after the Super Bowl, $1.7 billion per hour spent debriefing Cyber Monday after Thanksgiving, $1.9 billion per hour spent online shopping. James Comey's testimony, $3.3 billion for viewing the whole event. Amazon Prime Day, $10 billion for the day of deals.